back in the main room now after the workshops, and hoping that you had really rich conversations together. And I'll just, shall I bring you back, Ronnie? And yeah, great. So just bring you back in, Ronnie, and as we move into our closing part of the conference.
So thanks for all your technical support there, Ali. Ali, you managed that very well. There wasn't too many glitches, and it makes such a difference, particularly in these kind of conferences that are virtual. So as Ali said, welcome back to the plenary, and I hope you all had good discussions in your workshops. I'm now going to hand over to Anne Irwin, who's going to facilitate the call to action feedback from each of the workshops. So if we put Anne, yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Ronnie. And yeah, just to reiterate our thanks to Ali, who I think is going to screen share.
Yes, yeah, let me do that now.
And we'll just go through those very quickly.
Okay.
Sorry, Anne, can I just say I haven't had a chance to put anything on the Jamboard. It's Trish here in workshop 1. So I haven't had
how about
to do that. So
we move to workshop 2, maybe.
I could add it for you if you like, Trish.
I've put it in the chat, but I haven't had it. Okay, so I could, yeah. Do you want me to just speak it?
Why not?
Okay, so our group was very concerned that community workers would look at holding on to and committing ourselves to meaningful alliances for solidarity across the intersecting realities and the threat that is racism and the far right. We were also committed to educating ourselves and learning about it, understanding the ideas behind the far right, and you know, that idea of
okay, I think that's very.
That's fine. I'm just conscious of not too much. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, no, I think that's very clearly made. So it's about holding on and committing ourselves to meaningful alliances for solidarity when confronting the far right, and to learning about what the far
right,
addressing the issues of that. And just to remind people, workshop 1 was racism and addressing the rise of the far right. So
thanks, Sam. That's great.
Very, very clear. Second one.
Well, we need to add there, and racism.
Racism. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We certainly will. And we'll get the call to action. We'll get it properly worded.
Thanks a million.
So thank you for that. Workshop 2 was about climate and a just transition.
Anything to add for that one, workshop 2?
Who was there? I'm trying to get my list of note takers.
Yeah, that was myself, Lisa Ennis. We didn't get a chance to write it up, but Jamie's going to read it out if that's okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Jamie.
Hi everybody. Yeah, so we didn't get a chance, as Lisa said, to wrap up our discussion properly. So this call to action hasn't been completely signed off by the group. So I just want to ask their forgiveness for not getting the final wording on this. But this is an attempt to capture the summary of the discussion, and we recognised the importance of participatory structures and the challenge of sort of technical, complicated language in terms of the transition being a barrier to people's engagement. And so our call for action for community workers is that we need to fight for structures of participatory democracy that are fit for purpose.
Okay.
Meaning that they're equality proofed, meeting people where they're at, collective, empowering, solutions focused, we're running out of space on the sticky, and also linking people locally and globally.
Wow.
A lot in one sentence now, fair dues to you. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. So it's about looking for structures of participatory democracy that are fit for purpose, and fit for purpose means all of those things: equality proofed, meeting people where they're at, collective, empowering, solutions focused. Okay, thank you so much for that, Jamie, and all in that workshop. Okay, so addressing health inequalities.
Yeah.
This was chaired by Ciara Shanahan and speakers Bridget Quirk and Anne Friel, and thank you very much to you. And I will go back and acknowledge the other speakers, which I should have done a second ago. But thank you so much to the speakers and also to the note taker, who was Jacinta. So Jacinta, I don't know, do you want to call that out? Or will I just read it out? Are you there? Can't even see if you're there.
Yeah, I'm there. I think Ciara was going to call it out.
Okay.
Okay, and it's pretty straightforward. The call to action is Community Work Ireland to set up a health subgroup or a health working group. There was a wide breadth of discussion in our group, and we felt the best way to capture this work going forward and to move things forward was to set up a health subgroup or a health working group, and there was a lot of interest in the workshop in being part of such a group.
Okay, excellent, excellent. Before we go on to the next workshop, Ali, I would like to just go back, and apologies for this, just to thank workshop 1, to thank Anastasia quickly for chairing, to Ruben Hambach-Chera from the Cultural Migrant Centre, and Niamh MacDonald from Far Right Observatory, and to our note taker Trish Brennan. Thank you so much for that. And workshop 2, to thank Jamie Gorman, who chaired, and to Mary T. McBride from Inishowen Development, and Jerry McAvilly from Friends of the Earth, and to our note taker Lisa Ennis. And I think I thanked Bridget workshop 3, Ciara Shanahan, who chaired, and also to Bridget Quirk and Anne Friel, who were the speakers, and to the note taker Jacinta Fay. So workshop 4 then, just to thank Liam Herrick from the Irish Council for Civil Liberties, and Seamus Taylor from Maynooth University, who were our speakers at that one. And I suppose just 2 key messages from that one: that this is a point of reflection, and we need to remember and we need to learn, because there is a tendency to forget very quickly the lessons from COVID. And our call to action is to work towards mainstreaming community-informed policy making that includes the right stakeholders at the right time and is based on social justice and social determinants of health, which I didn't manage to get in there. Workshop 5, which was on women's rights, just to acknowledge and thank Ciara Bradley, who chaired, Jennifer McCarthy Flynn and Maria Joyce, who were the speakers, and Kate Hagan, who was the note taker. And I don't know if one of you wants to read that out, or will I just read it out?
Yeah, I can read it out, Anne, because it's a little bit long. Hopefully I got everyone's points in, because we didn't really wrap up the conversation. But we're calling for a strong implementation of all strategies, policies in relation to women, including BME, women, including Traveller and Roma, in relation to monitoring, targeting, resources, outcomes, and most importantly, accountability by all stakeholders, participation rather than consultation, moving from representative democracy to participative democracy, and calling for the community sector based on community work principles approaches needs to be resourced and implemented while ensuring that we are deconstructing systemic racism and exclusion, particularly for Traveller women and Roma women. Yeah.
Well done. Thank you so much for that. And just to acknowledge all our speakers and chairs and note takers again. Workshop 6 on social dialogue and participation in decision making, to thank Marianne O'Shea, who chaired, to speakers Rachel Doyle from Community Work Ireland and Siobhan McLaughlin from Donegal Travellers Project, and to our note taker Catherine Lane. So Catherine, or one of the other women, do you want to call that out, or will I just read it out?
I'll hop in, Catherine, very quick notes. I suppose you use better language yourself, a point of reflection, and then maybe the demand, but to reaffirm and reinforce that community development works. It needs resourcing and investment. It is an approach that needs recognition across different departments in order to respond to all inequalities. And then there was just that demand again that certain values need to underpin all spaces for participation, such as being inclusive, real listening, accountability, and that those spaces are made up of the people that are most impacted by the issues that we're talking about.
Okay, thank you very much for that. That's
a great discussion.
Yeah, good woman. That's very, very clear. Thank you so much for that. And finally, our 7th workshop, Building an All-Ireland Approach, just to thank and acknowledge Nuala Kelly, who chaired, to Martin O'Brien and Avila Kilmurray from the Social Change Initiative, and to Paul Kernan from the Donegal Cultural Platform, and to our note taker Georgina Lawler. Georgina, Nuala, Martin, Avila, Paul, does anybody want to read that out? Or will I just go?
I will, but I can't see. I think that the bottom bit's missing off my sticky note. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but again, this doesn't have final sign off from the members of the group. We had such a rich dialogue and discussion that this is, you know, something that we got to at the very end. So it's that we're asking that Community Work Ireland facilitate a space for conversation, dialogue and learning and exchange across the island of Ireland, discussing issues facing communities in a post-COVID environment such as Brexit and the Northern Ireland Protocol, climate change, poverty, exclusion, using a community work approach.
Okay, thank you for that. That's very interesting, and it is certainly something that we would be willing to do. And before I sign ourselves up to anything, I might just pass back over to our chairperson, Ronnie, and just thank you again once more to our chairs, to our speakers, and to our note takers, and some really, really interesting and thought-provoking comments there.
Okay, thanks for that, Anne, and thanks everybody for your time. We're trying to finish on time. I suppose I'd like to thank everybody for the contributions you've made, both to the conference overall and to the workshops, and we can see there's some really interesting challenges and recommendations coming out from that. So what we as Community Work Ireland will do is we'll give consideration to how best we can advance some of these recommendations and move the actions forward. As you all know, we've recorded the conference and clips will be posted on YouTube and on the Community Work Ireland website within the next week, so you can look out, so you can see yourself or hear yourself. And finally, I just want to acknowledge the conference planning group who planned the whole conference. We put a lot of thought into thinking through how we'd manage it, and we knew the time wasn't on our side. And I'd particularly like to acknowledge the work of the Community Work Ireland staff in making it happen, and to Ali Warder for the technical support, which made things run smoothly. So at this stage, all I'm going to do is thank everyone for your participation, and to say enjoy the rest of the day, and you will be hearing back from Community Work Ireland in the coming week for the direct stuff from but also how we're going to progress some of the calls to action. So thanks a million, everybody.
If I can come in, Ronnie, and just thank you as well on behalf of everybody for your excellent sharing, because I think you just did. It was a tricky thing to do, and I just think your whole knowledge of the health area and of community work and traveller rights and your history in the sector really came to bear today, and it was just brilliant that you took on to do it. So just thank you from me and from, I think, probably everybody for doing that.
Thanks everyone. So enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks everyone. Cheerio.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you. Bye.